Okay? Ang tanong lang po dyan, class, can a foreign corporations enter into Philippine corporations or enter into government transaction? Hindi po yan, class, absolute na no. Okay? Remember itself, class, we are allowing, class, foreign corporations to enter in the Philippines, especially, class, doing at multiple transactions in the Philippines. For example, class, sinong nakakuha ng MRT transaction? Okay? SLEX, NLEX, and etc. Okay? Multinational corporations. Ano po ang nangyayari po sa kanila? Di ba pag tinignan nyo, class, sa MRT, mga Briton o kaya class typical mga Amerikano. Okay? Ang unang thinking po nila, ano po ang function nila? Okay? Di ba class, there is a clear prohibitions under the law that the corporations must govern with 60-40%. 60% it's Filipino and 40% it's from the foreign. Okay? Paano po from outside the country? Pwede po ba siya? That's the question. Okay? Provides penalty for violations of the code and repeal all laws and parts of the law in conflicting and consistent with the code. Okay? Puntahan na po natin, class, with regard to the definition. A corporation, take note of that. A corporation is an artificial being created by operations by law. Okay? Nakita niyo po dito, class, sa artificial being. Kaya nga, class, di ba, juridical person po siya. Because it is created, being created by operations of law. Having the right of succession and the power, attributes, and property expressly authorized by law or incidents to the resident incident to its existence. Okay? Huwag kayong class mag-exam class na hindi nyo po memorize ang corporation. Lalabas po siya. Okay? What are the different characteristics of a corporation? Take note of that. Okay? Yung characteristics niya po, class, or the essential requirements of a corporation are the following. It is an artificial being. Created by whom? By operations of law. Created by operations of law. It has the right of succession. Okay? Ibig sabihin, pwede pong i-transfer. Okay? Pinag-uusapan kasi, class, with regard to the stock corporations, yung stocks itself ng tao. Okay? Kaya nga, di ba, class, on the concept po dito, sino po ang unang niya pong tagapagmana? Okay? Sino po ba yung mga successors ng taong to? Especially that person's class is having the 50 plus 1%. Okay? Na stocks. Ibig sabihin siya, class, ang may typical control of the corporation. Okay? Pwede niya, class, ipasok kaagad yung asawa niya. Pwede niya, class, ipasok yung anak niya, and etc. etc. Okay? Kasi, class, may power ito, class, right of succession. Okay? It has only the powers, attribute, and properties expressly authorized by law or incidents to the existence. Ibig sabihin po nito, class, when you see, class, has only the powers, attributes, and property expressly authorized by law. Because, class, meron pong tinatawag na article of incorporation. And what's the purpose of article of incorporations? It's totally defines the rights, the coverage, and all the duties and responsibilities of the stockholders. Hindi ka po pwede doon, class, to practice or to perform beyond that functions because, class, it totally substantiate your rights and duties. Okay? Bakit, class? What's the governing principle? Siyempre, nandun ang law. Okay? Sino po ang tumitingin po doon? Under the Security and Exchange Commissions. Pag nandun, class, yung umbrella rule with regard to the Security and Exchange Commission, papasok po kaagad dyan si BIR. Papasok po dyan, class, si local government. Papasok si provincial sectors and other governing principles under the law. Okay? Kaya nga, class, nilagay po dito, it has only the powers, attribute, and properties expressly authorized by law. Bakit po? Artificial being po siya. Okay? From the start, class, from the moment, okay, the corporations approved by the SEC, ibig sabihin po nito, class, alam na po ng mga stockholders what are the different duties and responsibility that totally governs within the functions of the corporations. Hindi ka, class, pwedeng basta na lang mag-decide nandun po yun sa tinatawag na Article of Incorporations or AOI. Okay? Next. Okay? Ano po yung pagkakaiba, class? A corporation as an artificial personality. Okay? A corporation is legal or juridical persons with a personality separate and apart from its individual members or stockholders who as natural persons are merged in corporate body. Okay? Kaya class, dinifine na class artificial personality. Ibig sabihin, ako si Mr. Mendoza, Evangelista, Brena and Colina, natural persons po kami. Papasok po kami class sa isang artificial. Magkakaroon po kami class ng separate and distinct personality, being a natural and artificial juridical person. Okay? Ang tendency po nito, class, di ba? Separate and apart from members of stockholder. Paano po, sir? I'm the stockholders and I totally, class, perform all my duties as stipulated in Article of Incorporation. Here it comes first. There is a lawsuit against the corporation. May nag-file ng case. Okay? May nag-file ng case against the corporations. Okay? Siyempre kasi ang tatanungin, sino po ang pwedeng makulong? Sino po ang pwedeng magbayad? Hindi naman po typical kaagad, class. Tatandaan lang po natin, class, kung ang file, it's the corporation, sino po ang magre-represent sa corporation? Kami po lahat. Tama po. Okay? Especially, class, if the corporations committed a crime or a crime which is punishable by law. Okay? For example, class, nag-enter siya class ng illicit, nag-enter siya class ng illegal transaction, and etc. etc. Okay? And the incorporators or the stockholder is knowledgeable. Okay? Pwede po sila doon class makulong, ha? Pwede silang makulong. On the other hand, we're totally expressing or objecting that our duties and function is within the Article of Incorporation. Sabi po namin, okay, I signed the document, I entered on that particular document because we believe, okay, we believe that it is lawful. We're just exercising within our duties and responsibilities. That's a valid contention. That's a good faith principle. Ano po ang pwedeng promotekta po sa amin? Do you think it is justifiable per se? Okay? Ang sagot po dito, class, meron pong tinatawag na doctrine of piercing the veil of corporate entity. Okay? Take note of that, class, ha? Okay? Huwag po kayong mawawala, class, ha? Dalawang tao, okay? Kami po, incorporators, natural person. Pumasok po kami sa corporation, tawag po doon, class, it's juridical person. Nakasuhan po yung corporations, okay? Sino po ang magiging held liable? The thinking, it's the corporation. And the corporation should be represented by the following incorporators. Kami na po. Okay? Take note of that. Okay? Since, class, we are exercising within the duties and responsibilities nandun po sa AOI or Article of Incorporation, good faith principle po kami. Okay? Alam naman po namin na wala po kaming binayolate. Ano po ang ano po yung typical na magpoprotekta sa amin? Ito na po yung tinatawag, class, na doctrine of piercing the veil of corporate entity. Ano po to? Okay? Ang sabi po ng batas, being a mere creature of the law. Tandaan po natin, di ba? It must, the corporation is created by the law. A corporations may be allowed to exist solely for lawful purposes. But when the fictions of corporate entity is being used as a cloak or cover for fraud or illegality, this function or these fictions will be disregarded. And the individual composing it will be treated as identical. Ano bang ibig sabihin po ng doctrine of the veil of incorporate entity? If the incorporators is in good faith, ito po ang protection po nila. Okay? Of dismissing the case what is the alleged information or the doctrine that will protect the incorporator? The doctrine of piercing the veil of corporate entity. However, take note class ha, however, if the incorporators, okay, or incorporator or incorporators, kasi class pwede isa lang ang nagkasala, or incorporators, or pwede po sila. Class ha, sabi po dito, to cover for fraud or illegality. Ito din class ang unang, okay? Unang hindi nila pwedeng gamiting depensa. Okay? Pag good faith, ito po yung class ang depensa. Pag bad faith po sila, ito po yung class ang unang tataboy din sa kanila. Okay? Ano pong mangyayari class pag in bad faith po sila? Okay? Ang gagawin po nito class must be disregarded and the individual composing it will be treated as identical. For example, class, sa aming apat, ako po yung nakabang, di ba po? Ako si Mendoza, si Evangelista, si Brina, si Colina, and etc. For example, class, ako yung nagkamali. Okay? Dito, class, yun, i-disregard po ako. Okay? Si Mendoza, si Evangelista, and other incorporators, class, must be protected with this piercing. Pero if the other incorporator is knowledgeable with my acts, okay, with my activity, with my illegal activities class, okay, that corporate entity or the doctrine, okay, should not given any tenable or justifiable against the other incorporators. Okay? Sangga po siya or pwede po siyang maging kalaban. Okay? Ano po ang pinaka-ultimate principle of good and bad faith? Okay? Next. Yan. Being an entity with a separate juridical personality, a corporation can be held liable for tort. Tort means damages. Okay? Committed by its officers under express directions from the stockholders or directors acting as a body. The corporation itself cannot be arrested and imprisoned. Tama nga naman po, di ba po? Sabi po dito, napaka-clear. The corporation itself cannot be arrested and imprisoned. Thus, it cannot be penalized for a crime punishable by imprisonment. Okay? Hindi po yan class ha. Kahit class nagpa-file ka against ABC Corporation, hindi mo naman po pwedeng pakulungin po si ABC Corporation. Kaya nga po class, meron pong tinatawag na nakalagay po doon sa baba. Okay? File against ABC, represented by. Okay? Doon na po yan iisa-isahin. Sino ang nakapag-commit po sa kanila? Okay? For example, in that case, it's si A. Si A lang po ang makukulong. However, a corporation may be charged and prosecuted for a crime if the imposable penalty is fine. Bayad. Okay? Since a corporation as a person is a mere legal fiction, it cannot be proceeded against criminal because it cannot commit a crime in which personal violence or malicious intent is required. Criminal action is limited to the corporate agent guilty of an act amounting to a crime and never against the corporation itself. Kanino po siya? Okay? Corporate agents. Okay? Yan. Kaya nga, class, pag nagpa-file, okay, People of the Philippines versus ABC Corporation, represented, may comma po yan, class, represented by the different incorporators. Kasi class, pag ang tendency, People of the Philippines versus ABC Corporation, ang hihingin lang po niyan, class, it's bayad. Pero class, pag naka-typical po din, class, represented, may typical yan, class, na sole issue. Okay? May pwedeng gusto po silang ipakulong or hinahanapan na butas kung sino po talaga yung violators. Okay? Yan. Next. Piercing the corporate entity is an equitable remedy. Take note of that, class, ha? Piercing the veil of corporate entity is an equitable remedy. Okay? Developed to address situations where the separate corporate personality of corporations is abused or used for wrongful purposes. What is the effect of piercing the corporate veil? the corporations will be considered as a mere associations of persons. Okay? Thus, the liability will directly attach to the stockholders or to the other corporation. Okay? General rule, both the individual suit to be held liable and the corporation must be impleaded at the first instant. Lagi naman po kaagad yun, class ha. Take note, class ha, the general directions of the law, if the corporation's class is guilty, ang una naman po, class, na papabayaran, class, it's the corporation itself. Unless and until, class, the court found out that this particular individual or incorporators are guilty. Okay? But as a general rule, class, corporation po yun. Okay? Ano po ang against po? For example po, for example, you are the incorporators. Ano po yung valid alleged or informations mo to fight the case? Okay? Ang gagawin niyo po dito, class, it's to file, okay? Or to give to give an informations that your activity or your decisions is within the corporation. Okay? And the corporation itself, by the provisions of the law, ito po yung sasabihin niya, passing of the corporate bail. Okay? The court must first acquire jurisdictions over the corporation, okay? Or corporations involved before its or separate personality are disregarded. General rule, titingnan lang po muna, class, juridical person, then baba to the natural person. That's the rule. Okay? Can only be raised during a full-blown trial over a cause of actions duly commenced involving parties duly brought under the authority of the court by way of service of summon. Summon, class, it's information. Ang ibig sabihin lang po niyan, class, it's the legal terminology for information. Okay? Of what passes of the service. Okay? Yun po yung, class, ha? Yun po yung kailangan po natin, class, with regard to this. Okay? Protection and pwede yung, class, maging defense. It's a isa-isahin po natin, class, yung definitions given by the corporations itself. Corporation as a creations of law or by operations of law. A corporation is created by law or by operations of law. Nakita niyo po dito, class, ha? Class, wala pong redundant po dito, ha? Sabi po dito, a corporation is created by law. Okay? Or by operations of law. So, may redundant. Okay? Wala pong redundant po niyan. Okay? Bakit po? Okay? Ang ibig sabihin lang po dito, yung corporation daw, class, it's create ng batas. Kaya nga, class, nagiging po siyang juridical person. Okay? Nagamit pa po siya, class, na word na or by operations of law. Okay? Bakit po? If there is amendment or revisions of the corporation, especially, class, papasok na po siya, class, sa dissolution, hindi po kaagad mateterminate ng incorporators or the stockholders, class, immediately. Bakit po? Operations of law. The court or the law itself will determine as to the reliability, as to the validity, as to the issues raised. Ibig sabihin, dadaan yun, class, sa napakadaming proseso. Whether or not the corporations is tenable to amend the article of incorporations, whether or not, okay, they are substantiate to change or to modify the article of incorporations, and etc. Okay? Kaya nga, class, yan, continuous po siya na tinitingnan ng batas. Okay? Wala pong redundant po dyan, tama po siya. This means that the corporations cannot into existence by mere agreement of the parties, as what I discussed. Hindi po yung typical na sabihin ko, okay, Mr. Mendoza, cut na natin. Kausapin mo si Mr. Evangelista, si Ms. Tardo, si Ms. Colina, etc. Mag-form tayo din, dissolve the corporations. They cannot do so. Bakit, class? Sa baba po ng corporations, nandun po yung napakadaming tao. Okay? Sino pa po ang una? Si creditors. Okay? We cannot do so. Okay? Batas po, corporation mismo ang magsasabi. Okay? The required special authority or grant from the state. Take note of that, class, ha? Even partnership, even the corporations class, it's merely an authority. Okay? Sabi nga po dito class, special authority grant by the state. Okay? Yung state mismo class ang nagbigay ng karapatan to totally exist the corporations, and the state will determine whether or not the corporations is subject for dissolutions or not. Okay? The incorporators or the stockholder cannot abruptly close the corporations. Okay? Hindi po yun kaagad-agad. Kaya nga class, di ba? Created by law, okay, for them to operate and or by operations of law. Tuloy-tuloy po yun class na titingin at titingin. Okay? Right of succession. Okay? Pag-usapan po natin class. Nasa definition pa lang po tayo ha. Right of succession of a corporation. A corporation has a capacity of continuous existence irrespective of death, withdrawal, insolvency, or incapacity of the individual members or the stockholders, and regardless of transfer of their interest or stocks. Take note, class, ha? Take note, class, ha? During your examination, huwag kayo, class, mawawala, ha? Okay? Pag members, non-stock. Pag stockholders, stock corporation. Pag ang tanong, class, it's non-stock, ang gagamitin nyo, class, members po, ha? Members. Pag ginamit nyo po yung word na stockholders, mali po yun, class. Okay? Makikita nyo, class, i-erase ko po siya. Okay? Mali po yun. Pag ang gamit nyo din po, class, for the non-stock, stockholders, mali din po yun. Be careful, ha? Hindi nyo pwede to, class, gamitin magkasabay. Members or stockholders. Okay? Pag ang tanong po is under the stockholder, stock corporation, and non-stock corporation. Okay? Don't worry, class, may tabulations naman ako later part with my discussion. And for those students who are able to read in advance, makikita niyo po yung sinasabi ko. Okay? Dito, class, di ba class sa partnership, as the general rule, they can terminate. Di ba class? They can dissolve that partnership. Sabi po dito ha, okay? Irrespective of that, pag nawala na po yung isang partners, pwede na pong tanggalin. Okay? Pag nag-withdraw po siya, he decided to go to the United States, to get married, and etc. for a valid reason, pwede na pong ikabit or putulin. Insolvency or incapacities of the individual, regardless of the transfer of interest of the stock. However, class dito, continuous existence. Okay? Bakit po? Ang anak, asawa, or tagapagmana, class, pwedeng mag-enter po irrespective of death. Okay? For example, namatay na yung lolo, pwede, class, pumasok yung anak, panganay. Okay? Pwede, in case, class, na nag-withdraw na si lolo dahil nag-asawa na po siya, pwede siya, class, mag-appoint. O kaya, class, pwede niyang ibenta sa ibang tao. Okay? Yan. Iba po yan, class, sa typical na partnership, ha? Kasi 2 or more persons. Dito kasi, class, imagine niyo na lang, class, a broader perspective, a worldwide perspective. Okay? Kung dalawa lang, class, sa partnership, typical lang po yun, class, 2 or more persons, wherein, class, ang corporations malaki. Imagine na lang, class, Ayala, di ba? SM, di ba, class? Nung namatay, class, si Henry C. Okay? Yung tatay, sino po yung tagapagmana? Di ba po yung SMDC po, nandyan pa rin. Okay? Bakit po? Nandun po yung C siblings. Okay? Pwede po bang i-dissolve by the death of Henry C? Okay? Pwede naman po. Pwede. Okay? Pero class, if the will of the heirs of Henry C wants to continue the corporations, and even the stockholders wants to continue the corporation, he can do so. They can do itself. Yung class, magmana po dito. Okay? Next. Yan. Am I still audible, class? Rinig po ba ako? Rinig po ako. Parang may nangyari lang sa screen ko. Wala naman. Rinig po ako. Mr. Evangelista, rinig po ako. Okay. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Kala ko class na wala ako. Well, anyway, class, pupuntahan na po natin, class. Powers, attributes, and properties. Okay. Thank you. Powers, attributes, and properties of the corporation. Isa-isayin po natin. A corporation's being and creations of law may exist only such powers as granted by law, okay, of its creation. Nakita niyo po dito, class, di ba? Yung corporation daw, class, is mere creations of law. Okay? Redundant na po, paulit-ulit. Pero class, hindi po siya paulit-ulit. Tama po siya. It's mere creations of law may exercise only such powers as granted by law. Hindi ka po, class, to go beyond given by the law or granted by law. Okay? Hindi po yun, class. That's the greatest prohibitions of the law. Okay? Gawin mo lang yung binibigay ko sa'yo. Okay? Kaya nga, class, doon dapat po sa corporations, under po ng Article of Incorporation, isa-isa po yun. Ang haba, class, ng Article of Incorporations. Okay? Distinctions between a partnership and corporation. Ano pong pagkakaiba, class, ng partnership and corporation? Take note, class. As a manner of creation, a partnership is created by mere agreement of the parties, while corporation is created by law or by operations of law. Manner of creation, class, ha? Tingnan nyo po, ha? Manner of creation, yung partnership, class, it's agreement, consent, requirements. Diba, class? COC. Okay? Agreements of the parties while corporation is created by law. Batas po mismo ang nagka-grant. Bakit po? May prior applications po kasi ito. Okay? Commencement of juridical personality. Kailan po nagkakaroon ng juridical personality? A partnership commencements to acquire juridical personality from the moment of the executions of the contract of partnership. Okay? Kung kailan po sila, class, nag-execute. While a corporations only from the date of the issuance of the certificate of incorporations by SEC. Okay? Huwag po kayo, class, malilito, ha? Kailan po nagkakaroon ng juridical personality? Ang partnership, sabi po ng batas, executions of the contract of partnership. If the parties agreed upon that we're going to commence this partnership today, today po tayo. Okay? With valid justification po yun. Ibig sabihin, dapat nakapag-BIR, nakapag-file po sila ng income tax, and etc. While on the other hand, class, okay, a corporation, class, only from the date of the issuance of certificate of incorporations by SEC. Ibig sabihin nito, class, mag-a-apply po kayo. Mag-a-apply po, class, yung stockholders, mag-a-apply po yung incorporators, mag-a-apply mismo po ang corporations. Okay? And if the Security and Exchange Commission's, class, validly identify and substantiate with all the evidence presented, with the certificate presented, ang tendency, class, the Security and Exchange Commissions will issue Certificate of Incorporation. Nakalagay po doon. For example, November 7, 2022. Ang tanong, kailan nagsimula ang AB Corporation? 11/7/2022. Question. Sagutin niyo lang sa chat. For example, class, ABC Corporations, class, established their corporations November 7, 2021. Okay? During their commencements of their business or their corporations, okay, they totally identified who are the incorporators and presented an article of incorporations. And here it comes, they immediately filed, okay, the article of incorporations to the Security and Exchange Commissions. However, the Security and Exchange Commissions approved after the 1-year transaction. Questions. Okay? Can ABC corporations validly operate, can ABC corporations validly entered in the agreement or any contract prior to November 7, 2022? Ang tanong po doon, pwede po bang mag-enter si ABC Corporation prior po ng approval ng SEC? Pwede po ba? No? How about the others? Tingin nyo, class. Okay? Ang sagot, yes, ang sagot ni Ms. Santos, ni Mr. Evangelista. Class, ang sagot po doon, class, ha? Negative. Ang sagot po doon, class, it's hindi po pwede siya mag-enter. Pero imagine niyo na lang, class, in a broader perspective, especially in the Philippine setup. Okay? Nakatayo na, class, ang isang corporation. Okay? Nakatayo na, class, ang corporation. Pag hinanapan po yan, class, ng LGU, saan po yung AOI ninyo? Approved na po ba ng SEC? Okay? Tapos ang tendency po nila, class, makikita pa lang po dito. Alam na po, the local government unit, class, is knowledgeable. The commencements of these corporations, class, it's 1 year ago. Okay? Tapos, class, nakakapagbenta na po sila ng goods and etc. etc. Pagtingin po nila, hindi pa pala approve. Okay? Okay? Pwede po yan actually, class, nangyayari po talaga yan. Nangyayari. Kaya nga, class, there are lots of Supreme Court decisions wherein, class, they are totally comments on the particularity of the issuance of the certificate. In short, class, hindi po dapat sila, class, mag-operate. Okay? Pero, class, on the downside, okay, you're done with your intellectual property. On the downside, class, okay, I'm telling you, medyo, class, matagal, class, ang approval ng SEC. Kaya ang tendency po nito, class, on the daily transaction, nag-start na po sila paunti-unti. Okay? Ang tanong na lang po dito, class, pag may nag-file, talo po ang corporation. Okay? Ang ginagawa po nito, dahil sobrang yaman naman ng mga taong po nito, hindi muna sila, class, kumukuha ng creditors. Okay? Kung ano po yung corporation nila, nagbibenta lang po sila typical. Okay? Yun. Pero as a general rule, class, they cannot operate. They cannot enter into any transaction as long as, okay, the valid certificate of incorporation is not granted by the SEC. Okay? That's the rule. Hindi po pwede. Okay? Ang tawag po din, class, it's de facto corporation. Kailangan po natin, class, it's makita de jure corporation. And what's all about de jure and de facto corporation? De jure means legal corporation. De facto means illegal transaction. Okay? There is no law that governs on the de facto corporations. Okay? Right of succession, a partnership at no right of succession. As what I discussed. Pag nag-terminate, pag umayaw na, pwede na. Okay? While a corporation has such right, pwede pong ipagmana po ni Mr. Arjo sa mga anak niya, sa magiging apo niya, and etc. Same as to Mr. Mustacho. Okay? Pag ayaw niya, however, because of his sisters or siblings wants to continue his legacy, pwede po yun. Okay? Yan. May karapatan po kasi, may right of succession po kasi ang corporations. Okay? Next, advantage. Okay? Nandun pa lang tayo, class, sa pinaka-description po. Mahaba po to. Okay? Advantages of a corporations. The corporation has the legal capacity to act as a legal unit. Kaya nga, class, de jure corporation. Okay? Its management is centralized in the boards of the directors. Okay? Imagine of that, class, okay? Nanonood kayo, class, I'm sorry, class, yun kasi ang alam kong sa generation ng Gen Z, yun ang mga particular na pinapanood nyo. You're watching, class, ng yung Kila Katniel, nanonood kayo po doon? Nanonood po ba kayo? Sagot naman kayo, class, para at least yung example natin nandoon. Nanonood, nanonood po ba kayo? Yes or no? Sagot naman kayo, class. Yes or no? Yes. Okay, yan. At least may sumagot. Okay? Well, anyway, class, wag naman po natin discussion about doon sa lab team nila or kung ano man pong etc. Kailangan lang po natin doon, class, the concept ng story, which is the corporations. Sabi po dito, its management, it's centralized in the boards. Remember, class, the setup, meron po sila, class, na direct Ang isa po doon, class, siya po yung tinatawag na president or CEO or CEO. Depende po yung class sa corporation, ha? Pwede po siya, class, na CEO, meron pa rin po siyang president. Depende po yung class. For example, what's happened to the ABS-CBN Corporation? Meron pong CEO, si Gabby Lopez, meron po siyang president. Okay? Depende po yon. On the other hand, for the San Miguel Corporation, if I'm not mistaken, president and CEO. Isang tao lang po siya. Depende po yan sa corporation. It's a valid ground. Well, anyway, class, meron po siya, class, na board of directors. Okay? For example, that's the proposal. Here's the proposal. Lahat po yan ng board of directors na yan, class. It's tatanungin. Okay? Take note, class, ha? It's a yes or no lang po ang sagot. Okay? For you, it's a valid. For you, it's a valid. And no, it's a valid. Okay? For example, class, the consensus, 50-50. For example, meron po, class, na 50-50. Okay? 50 it's yes, 50 it's no. Okay? Ang magdi-decide po niyan, class, si chairman, si president and CEO. Okay? Siya po yun. Okay? Sir, may tanong po. Ito po ang tanong. What if, sir, ang yes, it's no? Yes, it's 40%. Oh, parehas na lang. For example, sir, ang yes, it's 40. Ang no, it's 60%. However, class, the chairman wants to decide on no. Ang gusto ni chairman, sa no siya. Okay? Can the chairman do so? Ang tanong yan po, it's ganon. Okay? And ang sagot po dyan, as a general rule, class, yes, he can do so. Bakit po? Okay? The chairman or the president of the corporation's class holds 50 plus 1% shares of stocks. Magkano lang po yung isang nagboboto? For example, ang boto ko, it's 1%, 2%, 3%, etc. Ang hold ko, it's 50 plus 1. Ang hold nila po, it's 49%. Okay? Sana po nasusundan niyo po ako, ha? Kasi i-discuss po natin na sa general rule and the exemptions to the rule. Okay? Kung paano po na-overthrown po in terms of the decision making despite of the wants or decisions made by the stockholders or the members of the board. Bakit nagkakaroon pa rin, class, ng controlling factors or controlling decisions with regard to the chairman or the president? Take note of that. He holds 50 plus 1%. Ano ibig sabihin, class, ng 50 plus 1? Okay? 50% plus 1 stocks. May counting kasi yung, class, kung magkano. 1 stock, 1 par, 1 stock, etc. Yun, class, that's a mathematical figure. Okay? Yun. Hindi na natin yan i-discuss kasi kukulangin tayo, class, ng napakahabang oras. Well, anyway, class, I'm giving all the general principle of the corporation as much as I can, class, inabaan ko ang corporation. Okay? Stockholders the stockholders or the shareholders have limited liabilities. Okay? Shareholders, class, have the limited liabilities. Take note, class, ang hierarchy, some of the corporation, nandun si chairman, president, chairman, or CEO. Para parehas lang po siya. Okay? Pagbaba niya po dyan, class, nandun si board. Nandyan si board of directors, si BOD. Sa baba niya po dyan, class, nandyan po, class, si stockholders. Pababa ng pababa. Okay? Ang stockholders, class, general principle, wala po silang karapatan bumoto. Eliminated. Okay? General principle, class, si board of directors and the chairman lang po ang pwede po. Okay? Pero, class, may exemptions pa rin yan, ha? Ang stockholders pwede magboto. However, equal of 1 vote. Ano pong ibig sabihin, sir? Okay? For example, class, I want to enter into Jollibee corporations to become a stockholders. Okay? I decided to invest, for example, class, 10,000 pesos. 10,000 pesos. Okay? Ms. Santos also decided to enter to Jollibee, 10,000 pesos. Alejandrino, Tardio, etc., etc. Meron po kami, class, na 10,000 each. Okay? Yung 1,000 each na yun, class, it's nagkaroon, class, ng isang stock. Okay? Nagkaroon yan, class, ng isang stock. Okay? Yung stock, one stock na yun, class, okay? Gagamitin po, tatanungin po kami, anong vote mo? Yes. Okay? Yung one, yes, yes, yes. Okay? Yung isa yun, class, represented by the stockholders. For example, we decided to give the decisions to Ms. Alejandrino. Consensus po yun. Pero ang boto po ni Ms. Alejandrino on that saturated vote, hindi po siya nagboto dahil po sa gusto niya. Rather po, boto po ng lahat po ng stockholders. Okay? Yan. Pero po, class, ang dami nun. Okay? Nangyayari po yan. Pero as a general rule, isang boto lang po siya. Okay? What is now the disadvantages of a business corporation? The corporation is relatively complicated in formations and management. Actually, class, sobrang hirap po talaga. The corporation, sabi nga po dito, class, the law is now questioning with regard to the complicated in formulations of management. Okay? Ang hirap kasi, class, bakit? The real existence of the corporations, of one's corporations is 50 years. Renewable po yan, class, renewable with another term. However, class, 49 years na lang po siya as a general rule. Ibig sabihin, ng isang corporation, ABC, decided to put 2022 plus 50 years. O, di magkano po yun? 72. Di ba po? 2072. Okay? Buhay pa po yung isang incorporators. For example, di ba po? 20 plus 50, 70 years old ka. Pwede ka pa pang mabuhay. Okay? Once to decide to continue, pwede pa po niya pong i-renew yun. Okay? Another 49 years. Okay? Hindi na 50 ha, may hangganan. Di 99 years. For sure, yung taong yun po, class, patay na. 70 plus 49, di ba? Almost nandun po tayo sa realistic approach. Okay? Unless na lang, class, okay, may matter of succession, pwede niya pong ipamana. Okay? Basta general rule, pwede na pong i-terminate yon. It entails relatively high cost of formulations and operation. Bakit po? Hindi ka po pwede, class, pwede, class, to put up with 1 peso capital in the corporation. Dati nun, class, may minimum po siya. Okay? It should at least 5,000 pesos to put up a corporation. Before, pero class, di ba? Sa ngayon, sobrang liit lang po ng perang yan. Di ba? Sabi po dito, it entails relatively high cost of formulations and operations. Take note, class, the Security and Exchange Commissions cannot abruptly decide a favorable decisions in favor with the corporation. No. Okay? Valid evidence, substantive evidence must be thoroughly presented to SEC. Okay? Eto may capital siya. Magkano yung capital niya? 1 million pesos. Okay? Meron po ba siyang land? Meron po ba siyang incorporator or stockholders, etc.? Meron ba siyang sasakyan? Meron ba siyang building, etc.? Those are the valid grounds whether or not to terminate or to approve or disapprove the corporations. Okay? Kaya nga, class, diba, sabi po ng batas, high cost. The stockholders have a itong pinakasabi ko sa inyo, class. The stockholders have little voice in the conduct of the business. Wala ka kasi, class, in terms of management. Yes, sometimes your proposal might be helpful, pero, class, ang tanong doon, pwede kayong i-approve. Dito kasi, class, ang stockholders, class, ang liit ng porsyento mong pakinggan. Okay? Pero ang tendency naman, class, bakit lahat stockholders wants to invest in a corporation, a multinational corporation? Bakit po? Medyo precise kasi, class, ang kita. And at the same time, class, hindi ka po nababothered. Okay? For example, you wants to invest to Ayala Corporation. Okay? Meron kang 1 million. You want to invest 1 million to Ayala Corporation. Di ba, class, hindi ka abruptly takot? Okay? On the other hand, class, you cannot totally substantiate na magbibigay ako ng decision ko on behalf to Ayala. Ang liit lang po ng porsyento niyan sa Ayala de Suvel. Okay? Kaya, class, meron po ditong disadvantage. On the other hand, class, ang good advantage ng class partnership, equal po kayong magboboto. Okay? Sa corporations, since sa broader perspective, ang laki. Okay? Magkano na lang, class, ang 1 million mo sa San Miguel Corporation? Baka piso na lang po siya. Okay? Kaya dito, class, ang stockholders have little voice or almost, class, walang kaparapatan. Okay? Pero class, in terms of dividends naman, class, nakaka-receive sila. Okay? Punta na po tayo, class, sa classification. Actually, class, there are two classifications lang ng corporation. They are totally classified into two. Number one, stock and non-stock corporation. Stock corporation is the ordinary business corporations created and operated for the purpose of making profit. Take note of that. Okay? The purpose of the stock corporations, purpose of making profit, which may be distributed in the forms of dividends to the stockholders on the basis of investment capital. Okay? Okay? Napansin nyo, class, anong una nyo pong napansin dito? Stock corporations na tayo, class, hindi na po binanggit yung members. Holders. What's the basis? Investment of capital. Okay? Take note of that, class, ha? Stock corporation. What's the purpose? Profit. Okay? To whom? To the stockholders. On what ground? Okay? Dividendo or dividends. Okay? Yun lang po ang tatandaan nyo lang po doon, ha? That's the precise definitions of the stockholders, stock corporations. What are the requirements to be classified as the stockholders? Number one, they have a capital stock divided into shares. Okay? Meron po siya class na capital stock. Kasi without the stocks, hindi po siya magpo-fall under the essential requirements of a stock corporation. Number two, that they are authorized to distribute dividends or allotment as surplus profits to stockholders on the basis of the share held by them. Di ba, class? Ang tanong ko dun sa exam, can the corporation is mandated to distribute dividends yearly? Okay? Di ba? Sumagot po kayo doon. Okay? Discover pa rin po natin, despite I already posted the answer. Okay? Meron po yan na discussion. Okay? Well, anyway, class, ang sabi po dito, that they are authorized to distribute dividends. Meron po siya, class, ha? Pero statutory use, class, ha? Authorized. Hindi po yan, class, ginamit yung word na must. Okay? Ang sabi po ng batas, the corporation are authorized to distribute dividends. Hindi niya po, the corporation must distribute dividends. Iba po ang perspective po noon. Okay? They're authorized to distribute dividends or allotment as a surplus profits to the stockholders on the basis of share held by them. Okay? So may tanong po ako, and what is that? Okay? Ang tanong ko po, it's like this. Since it is clearly stipulated by the corporations, the meaning of the corporations, that it's for the purpose of making profit. Why is it that the corporations, the stock corporations is limited, okay, on this principle? They're authorized to distribute. It meant to say that the corporations is still have the prerogative or judgment on whether or not they can issue a dividends or not on that particular. Ang sabi naman po ng batas, yes, may restriction po lahat. There is a general rule. However, you must to substantiate on the performance of the corporation. Bakit po? Yes, the ultimate purpose of the corporations is to share or the purpose of making the profit. However, plus, when the pandemic exists, when the COVID-19 truly exists, okay? Anong mga nangyari, class, sa corporation? Okay? Ibig sabihin, di ba, class, na-down masyado? Especially, class, San Miguel noon, na-down. Bakit po? Nagbigay po sila initially to President Duterte, 100 million pesos. Okay? Pwede na po sana yung class allocated to distribute dividends. Di ba po? However, class, di ba, akala po natin, 1 to 2 months, okay ng pandemic. Here it comes, donoble, triple, and etc. Up to the last minute, we totally, class, meet almost 2 years. Okay? Until now, class, di ba, we're still facing on the pandemic side, the effect of this pandemic side. Okay? Bumabangon pa rin po, class, ang corporations sa mga panahon na to. Okay? Can you oblige the corporations to declare dividends? Okay? Babalik po yun sa inyo. Pag nag-declare kami ng dividends, okay, might be the closures of the corporations. Okay? Kaya nga, class, dito, ang corporations, binibigyan po ng karapatan. Okay? As long as they are acting on the good principle, class, pwede niya po, class, balansihin. Okay? Balansehin. Next time, mag-declare tayo. What's the purpose? Okay? Pagpapaayos tayo. Okay? Yung Pampanga branch, bumababa ang kita because of this situation. Tulungan natin. Okay? Yung Tarlac branch, mataas. Okay? Hugot tayo, etc. Dinalaro-laro lang po siya. Okay? Yun po yung pinaka-purpose po doon. Non-stock corporation does not issue stocks. Okay? And are created not for profit, but for public good and welfare. Okay? Okay? Take note, class, ha? Pag non-stock corporation, anong purpose niya, class? Not created for profit. Para po saan? Public good and welfare. Okay? In short, pagkakawang gawa. Okay? Saan po kadalasan ito, class, makikita? Educational purposes, religious purposes, hospitals, and etc. Okay? Kaya nga, class, di ba ang hospital nakakapag-overclass ng charity ward, and etc. On the school perspective, scholarships, di ba? Lahat ng activities ng simbahan, class, di ba? It's form of donations. Okay? Para po saan? For public good and welfare. Okay? Kaya class, ha, huwag po kayong mawawala. Okay? Pagtanong, alam po ang classification, dalawa lang po siya. Okay? Yan. Discuss po natin to, class, na tinatawag ko kanina. Yung tinatawag na one-person corporation. Okay? Yan. Tanggal yung S. May typo. A corporations with a single stockholders. Ako lang po. Okay? Si Mr. Mustacho, si Mr. Miscapili. Okay? Kami po, gusto lang po namin magtayo. Okay? Kami po, yun po na pagdesisyonan po namin. Okay? Only a natural person. Natural person naman po kami, di ba po? Okay? Trust or a state may form a person's one-person corporation. Natural person, pwede po. Okay? Ang trust na tinatawag na nito po, class, yung tinatawag na mga trustee. Okay? Pwede po ako mag-designate ng isang tao to put a corporation. Pwede po yon. Or state may form from one corporation. State yan, class, yung mamanahin. Okay? Ang tanong po dito, class, banks and quasi-banks, pre-need trust, insurance, public and public listed companies, and not chartered government-owned and controlled corporations may not incorporate as one-person corporations. Bakit po? Okay? Bakit po? Hindi po kasi sila, class, natural person. Okay? Di ba, class, quasi-bank, bangko, bank, yung bank, yung quasi-bank as if there is a bank. Okay? Mga savings po yan, ha? Mga savings. Pre-need trust, insurance. Di ba? Lahat po sila niyan, class, it's a juridical persons. A natural person, he is licensed to exercise a profession, may not organize as one persons. Corporations for the purpose of exercising such profession, except as otherwise provided under the special laws. Okay? Class, ang tendency lang po dito, class, it's quite contradicting on the principles of partnership. Diba? Can partnership form a valid partnership having their same profession? Ang sagot po din, it's yes. Diba po? On the other hand, on the contradicting decisions or on the contradicting opinion of the corporation, a natural person who is licensed, ako, to exercise a profession may not organize as one person. Hindi po kami pwede pong mag-organize sa same corporation po, having the ultimate purpose is the same as the partnership. Okay? In short po, class, kung parehas po kami certified public accountant, ang purpose po namin is to put a sole corporation or one person's corporation, and our ultimate purpose is to exercise our profession. Hindi po yan pwede. Okay? Pero class, may exemptions po yan, class, ha? Nakalagay po yan sa 116. Ang exemption po niyan, class, sabi po dito, corporations for the purpose of exercising such profession except as otherwise provided by the special laws. Ang sabi po ng 116, pwede naman daw po magtayo ng one-person corporation. And the ultimate purpose, it's for to practice their profession. Pero ako lang daw po ang maglalagay. Okay? Ako yung maglalagay. Ihila ko lang siya as parang incorporators ko. Okay? Yun pa ang sinabi ng 116 as the principle. Okay? Di ba class, sa partnership kasi, i-specify mo na sino ang partner ko dito. Anong purpose namin? To exercise one's profession ko. Dito class, ako lang po ang magpa-file. Okay? Sasama ko na lang siya. Later part. Pwede po yun. Okay? Other corporations. Okay? Huwag po kayo class malilito ha. Okay? Huwag po kayong malilito. Balikan po natin ha. Ang classification class, dalawa lang po. Stock and non-stock corporation. Take note of that. Okay? Wait lang class ha. Check ko lang net ko. Okay, sorry class ha. Nagkaroon lang ng technical. Well, anyway class ha, wag po kayong malilito dito class ha. Classifications of corporations, dalawa lang po siya. Stock and non-stock corporation. Clear po tayo dito ha. Baka po malito po kayo. Okay? Ang tinatawag class na other corporations. Okay? There are two classifications. However, class, it totally substantiate class with the other corporation. Hindi po kasi class siya properly identified. Okay? Kung ano po ang pinaka-typical na purpose niya or other purposes niya, class, might be established by other laws. Okay? Kaya class, in-specified po siya ha. Okay? For example, class, public corporation. Ang public corporation class, it is created by the law itself. Batas na po mismo ang nag-create niyan. Okay? Ibig sabihin, wala pong applications po niyan. Batas na po ang nag-substantiate. One form or organized for the government of a portions of the state. Its purpose is for the general good and welfare. Okay? Batas na po ang nag-establish po ng corporations na yan. Okay? Private corporation. One form for some private purposes, benefits, aims, or end. It may be either stock or non-stock corporations, government or controlled or quasi-public that has to determine whether GOCC or private corporations, if a corporation is created by own charter for the exercise of a public function, then GOCC if they incorporated under the general corporations, then private corporation. Yung tinatawag class na private corporations, may qualification po siya class. Whether or not it's a GOCC principle. You're knowledgeable naman class with the performance of Meralco. Okay? You are also class knowledgeable with the functions of the National Kidneys, Philippine Heart Center, Philippine Lung Center, and etc. Ang tawag po sa mga corporations po nila class, it's not totally substantiate on the public corporations. Hindi po kaagad siya. Okay? Bakit po, sir? Okay? Bakit po siya class tinatawag na government-owned or controlled or quasi-public? Yung tinatawag na GOCC. There are Ang purpose kasi class ng public, it's the total welfare. Period po tayo doon. Sabi nga po dito class, for the general good and welfare. However class, sa private sa GOCC kasi class, di ba, for sure naman class nakapasok po kayo. Sabihin niyo po ako pag hindi. Okay? Nakapasok po kayo class sa isang nabanggit kong hospital. For example, class Tala. Okay? Nakapasok na po ba kayo class sa Philippine Heart Center, Lung Center, National Kidney, East Avenues? Okay? In other government or provincial hospitals. Tama po ba? Nakapasok na po ba kayo? Pasagot naman po ng yes or no. Yes po. Yes. Okay? Yes. Okay? Lahat naman po. Okay? I'm presuming naman lahat. Okay? Well, anyway, class, pagkita nyo po, di ba, class, or meron po kayong experience, class, siguro ma-admit, or kung ano man, what particular reasons, kaya po kayo nagkaroon ng encounter. Well, anyway, pagpasok niyo po doon, class, sa mga hospitals na yun, you're thinking that the purpose of that hospital is for the public use. Am I right? For sure, that's your thinking. Pagpasok nyo, pag-admission class, ang tatanungin po sa inyo, magpapa-private po ba kayo? Magpapa-general, public, semi-private, suite room, or charity? Yun po ang unang tanong sa inyo. Here it comes, the patient's class is mayaman. Okay? He decided to go to the suite room. Another patient decided to go to the private room. Another patient decided to semi-private. And here it comes, the fourth patients decided to go to public or service patients. Ang bayad po nila, class, for example, lahat po ito magpapanganak. Okay? Si letter A, ang bayad niya, for example, class, 10,000. Si letter B, nasa private room siya, 8,000. Si semi-private, for example, 5,000. Si letter D, it's 0. Tama? Sana nakakuha niyo po ako, class. Doon po, class, kinakategorize, class, kung ano ang particular service po na kailangan po nila. Bakit po, class, hindi po kailangan maging public itself? Okay? Ang hospital itself, class, really needs an income also. Okay? And there are lots also of patients wants on the private room. Okay? For example, class, mayaman ka naman, ba't ka magpapa-public service? Tama po, di ba po? Okay? Mayaman naman po, class, si Henry C. Bakit, class, he decided to go to Philippine Heart Center on the public places, okay, or public ward. Kaya niya naman po, hindi po sandin po sila ng corresponding fines or bayad. Okay? Kaya po dito, class, meron lang po, in short po nito, may proper categorization. Okay? Kung ano po yung hiningi, ano din po yung corresponding bayad sa kanya. Okay? Doon po yung class nagmamatter. Take note of that, class, ha. Ang proper corporations class, the ultimate purpose of the corporations class, it's to properly determine the purpose of it, whether or not for the profit or non-profit or for the public or general welfare. That's the main purpose. Here it comes, class. With regard to the categorization, ika-categorize siya, class, individual. Hindi po yan as a general. Okay? Eto, nag-receive ng treatment. Anong re-receive nito? Okay? Kaya nga, class, nag-i-intervene ka agad, class, sa SEC, ang BIR. Kasi, class, they are not totally declared that all the patients, class, in the public, hindi po kaagad yan i-declare. Okay? Kasi pag ang declare niyan po, class, 0-0 lahat ng pasyente. Ang tendency niyan, class, ang PhilHealth, bankrupt. Ang hospital na yan, class, bankrupt. Okay? Because, class, remember, the DOH class cannot give everything. Cannot give anything more than the budget given by the Senate. Hindi naman po kaagad-agad yan by the Congress itself pala. Sorry, by the Congress. Hindi naman, class, ang pangangailangan ng isang public hospital, national kidney, kayang bigay, class, ng Congress. Okay? And their purpose, class, they are also intended to create income. Okay? Kaya nga, class, yan, kinakategorize po nila. Kasi pwede po yun, valid po yun. Okay? Pero, class, hindi po nawawala yung tinatawag na general or public welfare. Bakit po? Majority na pumupunta po sa kanila is still, di ba, class, masa. Okay? Masa po ang kailangan po nila. Paano po ang pagbili ng mga ventilators? Paano po pagbili po ng mga cardiac monitors without income without income itself? Okay? Bankrupt din po sila. Okay? Kaya po yan kinakategorize. Well, anyway, class, on the other hand, meron pong tinatawag class na closed corporation. Sa closed corporation, one whose article of incorporation provides that all issues tax exclusive of treasury share shall be held by persons not exceeding 20. Okay? All issues tax shall be subject to one or more specified restrictions on transfer. The corporation shall not be leased in any stock exchange or make any public offering. Okay? Ang of any stock of any class. Ang tendency lang po nito, class, sa sa closed corporations, pag nag-apply po itong 20 to, okay, for example, si A hanggang T, di ba? T ata ang let 20. Si letter A hanggang letter T, class, meron po siya dapat dito properly categorized, not exceeding 20 hanggang T. Sabi po dito sa closed corporation. All issues tax shall be subject to one or more specified restriction. Kung ano po yung final po nila, for example, si A hanggang kila 30, it's 10,000. Hindi na po sila class pwedeng magbawas or magdagdag. Okay? Yung number 3 class, the corporation shall not lease in any stock exchange. Okay? In short po nito class, sila lang po ang gumagalaw. Okay? Hindi po sila class pwedeng mag-enter sa creditors. Hindi din po nila class pwedeng nito class na ipalisting. Okay? Hindi po nila to class ipa-public viewing na eto kami. Okay? Tendency po, sila lang po sila. So yung question, what if sir, si letter S namatay, nawala, naging insolvent, okay? Ano pong mangyayari po sa kanila? Can somebody enters on his? Okay? That's a general rule. Ang sagot po dito class, as a general rule nito class, it's no. Okay? Kasi bakit po? Exclusive of treasury shall be held by persons not exceeding 20. As a general rule nito class, sila lang po ang gumagalaw. Okay? Hindi po siya pwede. Ano po ang exemptions? Okay? On prior to his death, meron na pong proper designations. And the 19 stockholders is knowledgeable on the appearance of this person. Pwede po 'yon. Okay? 20 lang po sila. Kung malugi po sila, that's the time po. Kung mag-income po sila, sila lang din po. Yung tinatawag na closed corporations lang po. Sir, may gumagawa po niyan. Meron pa rin pong gumagawa, pero hindi lang po kasi ito income generating. Kaya, siguro po, 1 out of 10,000 or 1 out of 100,000, meron pa rin po. Bakit po? Ito po yung tinatawag na traditional corporations. Kung ano po yung linagay mo, yun lang po. Okay? Mga investment lang po siya. Okay? Pero class, kung if you are, di ba, your purpose naman of entering in a corporation, it's for profit, di ba? And what's the purpose? Stagnant po siya. Okay? But it depends class with the persons. Okay? Parang same as with the insurance lang po din po siya. Okay? On the traditionals or to the VUL. Okay? Pag if you really want the stock itself, for example, 10,000 lang po. Pag ayaw mo na 10,000 lang makukuha mo. Hindi siya aggressive. Okay? Ganon din po sa closed corporation. Pag anong pinasok mo, yun lang din ang makukuha mo. Okay? Yan. Okay? Ito naman class ha. Okay? Educational purposes. Wala na po tayong questions dito. One organized for educational purposes. As what I discussed class ha, Ateneo, UST, okay? Even De La Salle University. Akala po natin class, ang sobrang hirap pumasok sa kanila. Yes, typical. They're requiring tuition fees. They're requiring validations, okay, on your income. Actually, class, pagpasok mo ng mga ganyang school, tendency po niyan, especially Ateneo. Okay? Sa Ateneo class, okay, pagpasok mo doon, hihingan po doon class ng ITR ang parents mo. Okay? Bakit? Medyo mataas po kasi ang tuition fee po nila. On the other hand, class, the Ateneo School is also class giving privilege to those unprivileged students who wants to study in Ateneo. Di ba? Last post po nila, class, may isa pong nag-valedictorian po sila. from a farmer sectors. Okay? Full scholars po. Okay? Yun po, those are the privilege granted by the university. Bakit po? Ina-apply lang din po nila yan sa exemptions. Okay? Huwag po natin iisipin, class ha, pag once elite, lahat po elite. Hindi naman po lahat po ng elite student, elite entirety. Meron po niya na pumapasok na isa, dalawa, tatlo na scholars. Okay? Bakit po? Yun din kasi class ang purpose ng education. Okay? To address the public needs. Okay? Hindi po yun pwedeng mawala po sa kanila. Kahit class mag-aral ka sa De La Salle, sa Vinil, okay? Sa De La Salle University, ganun din po. Okay? They're offering scholarship, pero mahirap lang po talaga. Okay? Religious corporations. Okay? Take note, class, ha? Sa religious corporations class, meron pong klase po siya. Okay? Isa-isahin po natin, class. Sa religious corporations class, may tinatawag na corporation soul and religious societies. Okay? Sa corporation soul, incorporated by one person. Okay? On the other hand, sa religious societies, incorporated by more than one person. Okay? Ano po ang purpose po, class, ng religious sectors? Okay? Adequately, directly and exclusively for charitable purposes. Okay? Pag corporations soul class, incorporated, isa lang po ang nag-form po dito. Okay? Pwede class yung organization itself. For example, Dominican organization. For example, SVD, Society Verbes Divini. Okay? For example, represented by Father Jerry Orbos. Okay? Pwede po yun. On the religious societies naman, class, incorporated by more than one person. Grupo itself, and may pumapasok pang isa. Okay? Yan. Yung number 6, class, okay? Ang pag-pronounce po nito, class, it's elemosnare. Okay? Corporations. One organized for charitable purposes. Okay? Lahat naman po sila, class, charitable. Ito naman, class, ang purpose nito, class, yung mga monastery. Okay? Mga monks. Okay? For the religious, for the Roman Catholic. Di ba yung mga monks? Okay? Mga seminary. Okay? Mga ganun po siya, class. Charitable purposes. Okay? Under po siya ng religious corporations. Domestic corporations, one form organized or existing under the laws of the Philippines. Domestic, within the country. Okay? Pag foreign, sabi po sa foreign, one form organized or existing under any laws other than those of the Philippines, and whose laws allow Filipino citizens and corporations to do business in its own country and state. Take note, class, ha? May particular discussion po dito, pero i-discuss na po natin. With regard to the foreign corporation, one form, organized, or existence under any laws other than those of the Philippines. Ibig sabihin, class, laws of the Philippines, batas po mismo ng Pilipinas, and those laws, Filipino citizen and corporations to do business in other countries. As a general principle kasi, class, di ba? Okay? Under the territorial jurisdiction, corporations must be in the Philippines. That's a general rule. Can a foreign corporations enter to the Philippines? Ang sagot po dito, class, hindi po siya, class, absolute na yes, hindi din po siya absolute na no. Okay? That's a general principle. Okay? Bakit po? Bakit sir dinidefine? Sabi niyo po, laging may particular na sagot. Yes po, may particular po talagang sagot. Okay? Bakit? Why is it that your answer, class, your answer, sir, is on the categorical yes or no? Okay? Bakit po? Kulang po kasi yung facts. Okay? Okay? Well, anyway, para po hindi po kayo mahirapan, ang tanong po dito, class, can a foreign corporations enter into the Philippine corporation? Ang sagot doon, can a foreign corporations can the foreign corporations enter and do transactions in the Philippine jurisdiction? For example, MRT. Okay? Ang sagot na po doon, class, it's yes. Okay? Bakit po yes? Okay? The foreign corporations entered into the Philippine corporation or transaction provided that the foreign corporations must be thoroughly represented by a domestic corporation. Ang tendency, sir, ano po, confused po ako. Okay? For example, class, United Kingdom Corporation. Ang pangalan niya po, it's United Kingdom Corporation. As a general rule, you cannot enter in class in the government transaction representing the UK Corporation. Well, anyway, nalilito lang ako sa example ko. UK Corporation. Ang pangalan po UK Corporation. Yung UK corporations cannot enter immediately class to the Philippine jurisdiction. Bakit po? May public bidding. May dumadaan class na public bidding. Here it comes, one of the essential requirements of public bidding, MRT. Okay? MRT 7. Okay? Ang nangyari po, nag-post po ang DPWH. For example, DPWH po ang handle. Okay? Construction of MRT 7. Nakita po to ng UK Corporation. Okay? He decided to participate in the bidding. Nag-apply po siya. UK Corporation ang gamit niya. Okay? Pagtingin po ng bidder ng DPWH, UK ito. Wala siyang government. Tendency po, dismiss. Hindi po siya pwede mag-participate. Ano pong gagawin po ng UK Corporation? Hahanap po siya ng local. Okay? Ang local po, for example, Basa Corporation. Pagpasok niya kay Basa Corporation, Basa, okay, gawin natin to. Okay? I want to participate. Here's my proposal to Basa Corporation. Okay? Represent na po kami, etc. And Basa Corporations admitted UK Corporation. Okay? Here it comes class. Pagpasok niya ng DPWH, sino po ang nagre-represent? Hindi po si UK Corporation, but rather on the local corporation, which is the Basa Corporation. Okay? I presented all the papers, all the registrations of Basa Corporations. Yun po yung i-apply. Okay? Pagtingin po ng DPWH, tama, local na siya. Okay? Lahat po ng transaction, it between Basa Corporation and UK Corporation. Lahat po ng liabilities, hindi naman po immediately go to UK Corporation, but rather to Basa Corporation. Lahat po ng income tax, pwede po silang mag-merge. Kasi ang tanong naman ng government, Basa, saan ka kukuha ng MRT? Tama po, di ba? Okay? Ang tendency po, nagkakaroon po class ng mediator. Okay? Between Basa Corporations and UK Corporation. Ano po ang gagawin po? Since po mag-i-income dito si Basa Corporation, lahat po ng documents, lilinisin niya kay UK. Lahat po ng pangangailangan ni DPWH with regard to the constructions of MRT must be thoroughly given and provided by Basa Corporation under the representative or under the jurisdictions of the UK Corporation. Okay? Pag tinanong, anong specs ng MRT? UK Corporation, bigay ka. Okay? Dadan po yun kay Basa Corporation as if Basa is the one provides the MRT. Okay? Valid po yun. Okay? As a rule class depende po yun sa situation Pero wag po kayong sasagot kasi kukumpletuhin ko po ang facts. Okay? Ang sagot po doon, pag kumpleto ang facts, tingnan nyo. Okay? Pag nag-enter po yung foreign corporations into the local, pwede. Okay? Pero po class, pag ang corporation, pag ang foreign corporations directly to DPWH, pwede pong i-dismiss yan. Bakit po? Foreign corporation siya. Yung foreign into local muna. Okay? Dapat class, may transmission muna siya. Okay? May conversion muna siya. Ina-allowed po yan. Okay? Imagine na lang class, ang MRT class, hindi naman po yan local. If I'm not mistaken, UK po yan or Korea ata, if I'm not mistaken. Okay? Hindi naman po immediately, despite that it is a government transaction. Under the prohibitions po yan. Okay? However, class, because of this process, pwede naman po. Bakit po? Ang tanong lang naman po kasi ng government niyan, sino ang hahabulin namin just in case meron pong kapalpakan? Hindi ko naman pwede po, class, hahabulin immediately si UK. Hindi naman po. Habulin ko si Basa Corporation and let Basa Corporations habol to UK Corporation. Okay? Ano pong gagawin din po ni Basa Corporations? Okay? Lahat naman yan po is their functions is to totally class investigate this UK corporation. Hihingi po yan ng napakadaming papel. Bakit po? In terms of liabilities, siya po ang unang hahabulin. Okay? Ang tendency po niyan, si Basa Corporations, hihingi po yan class ng bond. Ano po ang purpose ng bond? Okay? For example, ang transaction, it's 1 billion pesos. For sure, class, hihingi yan si 10% ng transaction si Basa Corporation, which is 100 million pesos. In a minute na pumalpak yung product mo, pumalpak yung service mo, ako ang sasagot sa government. Okay? Anong gagamitin ko? Yung bond mo. Assurance po kasi yon. Well, anyway, ganun po yung nangyayari sa foreign corporation. Okay? Okay? Yan. Punta po tayo, class, sa corporation. Created by special laws or charter. Corporations created by special laws or charter, which are governed primarily by provisions of the special laws or charter creating them. Ibig sabihin lang po nito, class, by special law, other provisions of the laws. Okay? Take note of that, class, ha? Diba? I already discussed under the principles of the nullum crimen noli poene sine legi that the laws must provide all the documents, all the laws itself, the content of the law itself. Okay? Yung special laws, class, di ba ang laws naman, it's dynamic form. Okay? Anong ibig sabihin po ng dynamic form? Ang tendency po, class, di ba, as the year passed by, ang tendency po nito, pabago-bago ng batas. Okay? Nagkakaroon po tayo, class, ng amendment or possible revisions. Take note, class, ha, before the revised corporations laws prior to 2018, tendency po nito, class, it was totally governed by the new corporation code. Nag-exist ang new corporation code, class, about 20 years. Okay? The later part, class, sabi ng legislator, ng legislative bodies, okay, which is composed by the upper and the lower house, sabi niya, hindi na ata umaakma ang corporations code because madami na dapat natin pabaguhin. Ang ginawa po nila, renevise po nila. Ganon din po yon. Ang special laws, as long as tinitingnan ng batas ng legislators itself, okay, na kailangan ng amendment with regard and also with regard to the revision itself, continuous po siya. Okay? Under the special laws. Okay? Subsidiary corporations, ang pagkakaiba naman, class, ng subsidiary corporations, one in which control in the form of ownership of majority of its shares is in another corporations, the parent corporation. Ang subsidiary corporations, for example, class, San Miguel Corporate, Jollibee. Sa Jollibee, class, di ba, class, nag-merge siya sa Mang Inasal? Okay? Sana nasusundan yung mga example, class, ha? Nag-start po siya, class, sa Jollibee Corporation. Here it comes, kinuha niya, class, ang Mang Inasal. Later part, kinuha niya, class, ang Red Ribbon. Okay? And etc. Kung ano pa po ang hawak po nila. Yung tinatawag, class, na subsidiary, okay? Subsidiary, ito po yung mga nasa umbrella rule niya, nasa baba niya. Okay? Ano bang pinakataas niya? Jollibee. Ang tawag po dun, it's parent corporation. It's the control lies, it's power directly or indirectly to elect subsidiary director that's controlling its management. Saan po nanggagaling ang direksyon? Saan po nanggagaling po dito? Ang galing po dito, it's kay parent or kay parent corporation, which is Jollibee. Because, class, si Jollibee, hindi naman totally, class, knowledgeable paggawa ng cake. Di ba po? Okay? May mga knowledgeable naman po. Ang in short lang naman po dito, sa sobrang kapangyarihan, class, ni Jollibee, na-acquire na, class, ang iba't ibang corporation. Ang tawag po dun, it's parent corporation. Okay? Well, in class, ano pang nangyari sa subsidiary? In terms of the production, in terms of the management, okay? Despite that still the controlling ng Jollibee, binibigyan niya, class, ng karapatan ang subsidiary corporations in terms of production, in terms of management. Di ba? For example, class, ang Mang Inasal. Di ba? Hawak na din ata ng Jollibee, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, ha? Okay? Hawak na din po siya. Pero, class, di ba, mas knowledgeable po ang Mang Inasal Corporation in terms of the production, in terms of the establishment, in terms of the management. Hinahayaan po sila. Binibigyan po sila ng free will to decide. Okay? Pero pag nakikita pa rin, ang decision nandito sa taas. Okay? Yun po yung tinatawag, ha, under the umbrella rule. Okay? Pero class, ini-specify po sila. Bakit po class kailangan i-specify? Whether on the directions of the parent corporation or parent corporation and subsidiary corporation. Bakit po? For example kasi class, yung subsidiary corporation, si Mang Inasal or si Red Ribbon, nagkaroon class ng mismanagement or nagkaroon po siya class ng illegal transaction, etc. Ang una pong hahabulin, subsidiary. Okay? Hindi po siya directly po pupasok po muna dito. Unless na lang hindi po kakayanin in terms of penalty. Okay? Pag kulang po ang pambayad po nitong subsidiary, papasok po siya sa parent. Okay? Kay parent. Pero isa-saturate under the doctrine of exhaustion. Okay? Kaya class, ina-identify po yan. Ha? Remember class, as the definitions given by the law, a corporation, it's totally exists by the operation, by creations of the law itself, and by the operations of law. Ito na po siya, ina-identify na po siya kung ano po yung particularity, designations, and liabilities. Okay? I already discussed class yung regard na tinatawag na corporations de jure and de facto. Okay? Corporations de jure organized in accordance with the requirements of the law. It's a legal, okay, creations by the law. On the other hand, de facto, okay, a corporations where there exists a flaw in the incorporation. In short class, de jure, legal. De facto, wala po siya. Illegal po siya. Okay? De jure, properly identified and granted by SEC. De jure, de facto, hindi pa po siya. Okay? Corporation by estoppel. Estoppel, the right pronunciation is estoppel. Take note of that class ha. Meron din po principal class obligations in contract on contract of estoppel. Meron din po tinatawag na corporation by estoppel. Ano pang tendency po nito? What first come in your mind when you hear the word estoppel? Okay? Stop. Tigil. Okay? Sabi po dito, where a group of persons misrepresent themselves as a corporation, they are subsequently stopped from claiming lack of corporate life in order to avoid liability. Okay? Pag ang tao daw po class, ang incorporators or stockholders is misrepresenting the corporation as if wala naman po talaga silang karapatan. Ang tendency po nito class, the law will stop them. Okay? Stop hindi yung word na stop. Stop from claiming lack of corporate life in order to liability. Bakit po? Di ba po, batas will protect the corporation itself. Okay? Pag may mga intruder, okay? Pag may mga intruder na gustong sumira sa corporation class, the law will protect them. Okay? The law will stop them. Okay? Yun po yung tinatawag na corporations by estoppel. Okay? Okay? Well, anyway, class, it's already 8:52. Mag-check pa po ako ng attendance. Okay? Sorry, class, I need to attend a panel for the graduating students. Kaya, humingi po ako ng consideration. Don't worry, class, ngayon lang pong week to. Okay? And thank you for giving the opportunity. Next meeting, class, tatapusin natin, class, yung Nationality Corporation, yung tinatawag, class, na grandfather rule, yung tinatawag na control test. Mga magaganda po ito class na discussion ha. Paano po nagkakaroon class ng AOI? Mahaba pa po itong discussion ha. Okay? Pero don't worry class, nabigay ko naman sa inyo class yung pinaka-essence niyan. Madami pa po siya up to the dissolution. Okay? Nakita nyo na naman po class ha. Medyo po mahaba siya. Okay? Don't worry class, next meeting ako pa rin po magdi-discuss. Bakit po? Corporation kasi class, it requires explanations. Okay? Hindi po dapat ito pinapa-report. Kaya I'm giving all the precise explanation po nito. Kasi there are lots of tawag po dito, words or phrases under the law which requires explanation. For example po, yung stockholders, hindi po natin yan totally class ma-identified with the proper explanations. Oh, well, anyway, I'm totally committing myself, okay, to totally discuss everything as much as I can, to cite an example as much as I can, and to provide all the substantive informations class to give a broader perspective with regard to the corporation. Kaya nga class, sinatagalog in English ko. Bakit po class? It requires explanations po kasi ng corporation. Ang haba po talaga ng corporation. Actually class dapat magkatumbas po siya. Okay? Magkatumbas po siya ng obligations in contract as to the weight. Well, anyway, class, ang corporation kasi, class, mababanggit at mababanggit din po siya. Same as with the obligations in contract. Okay? Next meeting, continuation po tayo. Then pasukan ko na, class, ang negotiable instrument. Okay? Magsisend ako sa inyo, class, ng asynchronous class. Asynchronous task. Today, pabulit na lang po. Siguro, class, after ng panel. Then, expect na lang, class, next meeting. Habaan ko lang ng konti. Tapusin ko, class, ang corporation law. Okay? In anticipations para sa finals po natin. Okay? Do you have any questions? May mga katanungan po ba? Sa mga hindi pa po, clear na po ako Sa mga hindi pa po nakaka-receive ng grades, ang kailangan ko lang po, it's yung task na kulang. Bakit po? Okay? I'm helping you, class. Okay? Pag ginawan ko na kayo, class, ng 0, hindi nyo na po i-submit at all. Ang tendency nito, class, hatak na po kayo sa finals. Okay? Remember concept, class, Gusto ko kayo, class, lahat pumasa. Okay? Kaya kumakapit po ako sa inyo, class, Okay? Ayoko kayong bitawan. Okay? Ayoko, class, na may bumagsak sa inyo. But rather, class, ang bigat lang din kasi ng subject na binibigay sa akin. Okay? Kaya I'm requiring, class, sa mga hindi pa nakakasubmit, please, with corresponding deduction, then maging 0 po kayo. Remember, class, I already posted your midterm grades. Ang midterm, class, it's 40% with your total grades. Kailangan po natin pagtrabahuhan ang 60%. Sa mga nakakakuha na class ng mga matataas na grades, please, kilala niyo po ako. Okay? As much as I can, kung kaya kong ibigay sa inyo ang puno, ibibigay ko. Never po ako naging kuripot sa grades. Okay? Sa mga nakakataas na po ng 90%, kapitan nyo na, class, Kapitan nyo na. Hindi na kayo bumaba. Sa mga nakakakuha ng 85 to 89%, exceed more. Kaya nyo po yun. Para ang objective natin, kung as lahat po kayo 1.5, be it. Sa mga nakakakuha, class, ng 80 to 84% class, exceed more enough. Okay? Habulin po, kayang-kaya pa po yan. Ang objective po natin, habulin po ang grades. Sa mga nakakakuha, class, ng 75 to 79, ang haba pa po ng time. Okay? Ang haba pa. Mark my word, ang haba pa. Kayang-kaya nyo pa po. Okay? Kayang-kaya nyo pa po. Okay? Then lastly, sa mga nakakuha po ng below 70, 75, okay, hindi pa po time to say give up. But rather, aim for excellence. Kayang-kaya mo pa pang habulin. Kung 74% ang nakukuha mo, 40% lang yan. Okay? May 60% kang kayang habulin. Kaysa class, take note, kaysa habulin nyo to next sem. Okay? Another consideration, mahaba at mahaba. What if, class, dagdagan ng law on sales? Mahaba pa ng pahaba. Gawin nyo na po today. Okay? May mga katanungan po ba? Sa may mga katanungan po, I totally answered naman. Class, I do advise, maganda po yung ginagawa nyo, class, sa akin, kasi from time to time, class, mas okay po sa akin na nagme-message kayo, class, sa group chat. Tapos call my attention. Okay? Para at least masagot ko po kayo. Mas doon ko po kasi, class, na ma-manage po kaagad. Pag nag-email kasi kayo, class, or palagay nyo na lang, sir, may email po ako para immediately, class, ma-manage ko. Sorry, class, kasi I'm also handling, class, for QCU, more than 200 students and for other university. Kaya minsan, class, kumukulang, maintindihan nyo din po kami because of asynchronous and synchronous. Yon. Kaya plus we're also handling, class, graduating student, especially for the funnel. Kaya, class, mas okay sa akin, class, na mag-message kayo dun sa GC kung may special concern po kayo para mabigyan ko po kayo ng immediate attention. Okay? Yan. Or to raise also to your BDEL, to Mr. Evangelista, kung may concern po kayo para at least immediately ma-address ko po. As much as I can, class, I will promise to address all your concern relevant to the subject matter. Okay? Yan. Check ko po na attendance sa Miss Brina, Diana, Itcobanes.
Present po.
Present po,
Okay.
Brina.
Itcobanes po,
Okay,
present.
noted. Yes, noted, Miss Brina and Miss Itcobanes. Francisco, Tardio, Larguesa,
Largyo po present.
Present po, Largesa.
Larguesa, noted. Okay. Laktawen, Erica.
Present po. Present, sir.
Mamaradlo. Yes, noted.
Present
Mamaradlo.
po.
Tagorda.
Present po.
Romel, Mustacho.
Present po.
Amador.
Present po, Sir Amador.
Laura.
Present po.
Catalan.
Present po.
Atrihino.
Present po.
Fermi.
Present po.
Malang.
Present po.
Aganan.
Present, sir.
Marte.
Present po.
Eusebio. Magkamit.
Present, sir.
Bakalya.
Present po, sir.
Kapili.
Present po.
Atag.
Po.
Galban.
Present po.
Espiritu.
Present po.
Mendoza. Mr. Mendoza. Colina.
Present po.
Mendoza Saraline.
Present po.
Reyes Samantha.
Present po.
Rodriguez.
Sir.
Rodriguez po.
Baluyot. Noted. Baluyot.
Present po.
Rabor.
Present po.
Alejandrino.
Present po.
Kalindasyon.
Present po.
Andres.
Present po, sir.
Mr. Basa.
Present po.
Aquino.
Present po.
Ferrer. Santos Diana Rose.
Present po.
Yutan.
Present po.
Evangelista. Casano Rona.
Present po, sir.
Chua Valerie. Miss Chua. Okay. Repeat ko class ha, yung mga hindi pa natawag for the last time. Miss Chua Valerie. Francisco Bianca. Eusebio Catarina. Mendoza. Kyle Giancarlo. And Ferrer Eliziel. Yes, okay. De La Santos, sorry, naipit. Yes, and same as Miss Bolivar. Okay, noted po. Yan. So, Francisco. Okay, ito din yung index card mo, sorry. Okay, so far po, noted po, Miss Francisco Bianca. Okay, so far po, no? Si Miss Chua, Eusebio, Mendoza, then Ferrer ang absent for today. The rest po, it's present. Lahat po na-checkan and lahat po, except for the 4 students. Okay? Do you have any questions, class? May mga katanungan po ba? Do you have any questions before po ako mag-end? RJ, pa-picture na lang after ng prayer. Okay? May katanungan po ba? Okay, since wala naman pong katanungan, and sorry class kung need to cut ko na po. Okay, 9 a.m. din po yung commitment. Well, anyway, start na po tayo for prayer. In the name of the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, Amen. Lord God, thank you for this wonderful day, for this wonderful Monday. Marami pong salamat po for all your guidance, for all your protection, your love, and everything. For the gift of knowledge especially, Lord, thank you for continuously providing us with all the gifts that we're really begging and needs for. Thank you, Lord. And please guide us always, Lord, with our loved ones to meet our expectations with the subject matter. Kung ano man po yung agam-agam po namin, lahat po ng mga takot, lahat po, Lord, we believe and we trust everything to you, Lord, that we will conquer everything. In Jesus' name we pray, Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, Amen. Okay? Please open your cam para this class ma-dismiss ko na po kayo. Okay? Mr. Evangelista, RJ Pasuyo na lang po. Please open your cam. Yes, pabilang na lang, RJ. Marami pong salamat. Stay safe. God bless you all. Take care. See you on Monday. Thank you po.
Thank
God
you,
bless
sir.
you all. Thank you.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.